The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is coming out in less than 3 months. This is going to be one of the biggest Nintendo games on the Switch as the successor to the highly praised Breath of the Wild. Hell, many people could argue that this might just be the greatest Nintendo game of all time considering the sheer scale of the title. But if this game is so massive, why is Nintendo doing the bare minimum to advertise the title? Well, let's start by first analyzing how the game has been advertising from when it was first announced. After Breath of the Wild released in 2017, obviously it was critically acclaimed and the game was expected to have a sequel inevitably. So the DLC finished releasing in December 2017 and we waited. Usually Zelda games take a while, roughly till we get a new mainline title every once per major Nintendo system. But with spin-offs and remakes, often as it seems, Nintendo pushes for at least one Zelda game per year. After getting a Hyrule Warriors port in 2018 for the Switch, in 2019 we were given an announcement of Link's Awakening remaster on the Switch scheduled for later that year. We then got the announcement at E3 2019 that a sequel to Breath of the Wild was in development with a little teaser trailer cutscene featuring Zelda and Link exploring some underground area with Ganon being seemingly resurrected. And that was about it for the trailer. No release date, but that's expected. The way they worded it now in development seems as if they were in the earlier stages of development, despite likely starting back in 2017. So around 2 years in development time, they likely had the plot solidified as the cutscene suggested, and likely most mechanics. Okay, cool. Obviously we didn't expect it too soon. Should we? Let's look at the previous data. Ocarina of Time's sequel, Majora's Mask, was only released 2 years after the release of the original. But since the game was at a much smaller scale and weaker hardware, it wouldn't take as long, but that does bring to the question if the sequel would take too long considering how many assets from the original they can reuse. Regardless, let's move on to 2020. I wonder what news we'll get this year!
Regarding the sequel, in order to make the vast world you enjoyed exploring in the original game even more impressive, the team is working hard on its development, so you'll have to wait a bit longer before we can provide more updates.
Oh, okay then. Well, obviously we shouldn't be expecting too much because COVID-19 likely delayed every Nintendo project. Especially since the idea of working at home was a novel idea for Japan at the time with how its work culture is. So it likely took months alone for everyone to get adjusted in the new workspace. We also didn't see any general directs at all during 2020. Note how I have to clarify general, but I will say at least we got Age of Calamity announced and released. It definitely helped everyone while waiting and it was a fun experience in my opinion. Now we gotta skip over to February 2021. On February 17th, 2021, we got the announcement of Miitopia coming to Nintendo Switch, and some other games that no one really cares about. At the end of the February Direct, we got the announcement that The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was coming to the Switch in HD on July 16th, 2021. Eiji Aonuma clarified that they were still working on the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and they'll have some more information later in the year. Okay, great, we got confirmation that the game is still steadily progressing, and they'll be ready to show another trailer later in the year, probably around the E3 season. Now, speaking of E3, let's time skip again. E3 2021. We finally got our first actual look at Breath of the Wild 2, 2 years after the announcement and roughly 4 years after development started. We got a nice look at the general vibe of the game. Not only will we be re-exploring Hyrule, this time with changed terrain, but the skies above as well. We got a good look at these cool looking sky islands, some new enemies, one of which looked like a boss in a cave area, possibly confirming more traditional dungeons. The trailer also consisted of new variations of enemies, a new fire weapon, some weird thingamabob on Link's arm giving him new abilities. This is likely the replacement for the Sheikah Slate. This time he can go through walls and stop time? And then the trailer ended with Hyrule Castle going into the sky. For just a teaser, this was the alright amount of content we were shown. Besides, they said it'll release in 2022. The actual release, sure, they haven't given us the full title, so it'll likely be coming out more later towards the holiday season of 2022, but surely they'll be able to hold us over with information about the game along the way, right?
本作は2022年に発売を予定しているとお伝えしていましたが、開発にもう少しお時間をいただきたく、発売を2023年春に変更させていただきたいと思います。
Yeah, it got delayed. It was inevitable, I guess. I mean, at least Mr. Aonuma told us early in the year so we could be prepared. Mr. Aonuma went on in the Black Abyss to give us the delay announcement for spring 2023, basically showing us all the footage we've already seen before, except a new clip showing a new broken Master Sword. What happened to Fi? And that was it for a while. We didn't get a crumb of new information for the entire year until the September 23rd, 2022 Nintendo Direct. We finally got our first real trailer, not a teaser trailer, with the title of the game as well being The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. The trailer showed us cryptic wall drawings, Link jumping out of the sky area as we were shown before, into the main Hyrule land, another ability which seems to be an ability to move objects and ride them vertically up into the skies, and the trailer ended with Link landing on a bird-shaped object vehicle thingy-mabob, looking over the changed Hyrule terrain. For the first actual trailer, I felt this was a bit disappointing, especially compared to the teaser trailer. The only real new thing we were shown outside the title was the bird thing you could ride on and the moving platforms ability. Yet, fans and I included stayed hopeful. Now that we have a concrete release date, we'll definitely see more actual gameplay and know more about what the hell this game is about. So we waited, and we waited, till February 2023. We didn't get anything between September to February. I mean, we technically did, but not officially. In late December, a Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch leaked online with a few pictures appearing online, but we never actually got an official reveal for it as of this recording. This was around the same time frame people started getting really worried on how Nintendo was handling the marketing for this game. It's supposed to be the sequel to one of Nintendo's biggest titles. Why aren't they showing or promoting anything? Regardless, everyone knew it had to be appearing at the February 8th, 2023 Nintendo Direct when it was announced. Maybe they'll open with a huge overview trailer so we can finally get more info about the game. Maybe they'll show off a cool teaser and then reveal a dedicated Tears of the Kingdom Direct for in a few weeks. Yeah, we didn't get that. For the fourth time, Tears of the Kingdom was saved as the one last thing in a Nintendo Direct. The trailer is advertised as the second official trailer, and to keep it brief, it barely showed much new content. The trailer begins in a stormy Hyrule with pterodactyls flying around. We get more dark and grim shots of Hyrule, after we can finally hear Ganon for the first time. He commands his minions to rise, sweep over Hyrule, and leave no survivors. The clip that accompanies this is a giant fire dragon creature on the bridge of Hylia. Next, things get kinda crazy. We see a blood moon, malice being shot out like arrows, an explosion, death mountain rocks reforming, Hyrule Castle breaking out of the ground, and then they look at old enemies from Breath of the Wild and their slight modifications, Link on a horse, Gerudo. Okay, I wanna pause for a second. Again, so far we're not really being shown much new mechanics or anything, just stuff similar from the original trailers outside of Ganon's voice, more glimpses of cutscenes, and the fire dragon. Now let's continue. Next is a cutscene of Link in a building surrounded by mechanical hands, maybe one of the ancient tech labs? More of the enemies and variations, more of the landscape shots, some more enemies again, including a strange block boss creature appearing to be on the Sky Islands. Then it cuts to more vague clips of Ganon's resurrection. Another interesting voice clip is Zelda saying that she's not sure if he'll be able to stop him, likely referring to Ganon. This is very interesting as we barely heard Zelda doubting Link's capabilities, accompanied by a closer look at Link and his strange mechanical arm. The final section of this trailer has the triumphant orchestral music that we've been hearing in almost every trailer so far returning, and it closes with more shots of Link exploring the landscape, showing a bit more of his abilities, and Link riding vehicles which seem to be buildable, similar to Banjo Nuts and Bolts. After the title card, there's just more fast clips which seem to be the beginning of the game with Zelda stating, "Please lend him your power," which is speculated to be referring to Hylia. And then the trailer is over. That was the last trailer we've gotten as of the recording date in March 2023. I may have gone more in depth than I should have with these recent trailers, but the point is that Tears of the Kingdom has been a lot more quiet with the game compared to other games this generation like Pokémon, Mario, and Kirby games. It's become a lot more clear to me as to why the marketing for the game was so quiet as time went on, and it's because of one major thing: discovery. One of the key elements of Breath of the Wild was how expansive the world is and all the things you could do and finding out all those little things. Want to climb a steep mountain but it's raining? Well, there was a campfire I saw earlier that I could rest at, so maybe if I could get out some wood with a fire, I could make my own and go to sleep till morning under some cover. Boom! It worked! Imagine you're climbing over a massive cliff, end up seeing a vast landscape you've never seen before, and you're ecstatic to explore it all. It's the tiny things like these that all add up to make an incredible feeling of exploration and discovery, and showing so much of that would ruin the surprise of it all. Of course, Nintendo would have to show a lot more of the original Breath of the Wild. They want to make sure that people would want to buy it and secure an audience since this was during the Wii U era. But now they can roll back, knowing fans will practically do the marketing for them. That all being said, though, I doubt Nintendo's planning on slacking. Breath of the Wild had one final major trailer at the Nintendo Switch presentation in January 2017, which struck a perfect balance between not revealing too much, but also being incredibly engaging. The most recent second official trailer just wasn't that for a lot of people. I could see them putting together one final trailer in the coming weeks, and then blasting that in everyone's faces. Also, Nintendo has been doing research on the marketing for Tears of the Kingdom. People have already been asked to participate in a survey on the Nintendo website that asked them about the game and such. The second official trailer is actually one of the first to actually be advertised on places like social media. I myself have even seen the trailer on YouTube a ton recently. It's just a matter of time before they officially go head in on their big push of marketing. The TLDR for all of this is just that Tears of the Kingdom isn't being as advertised as much as other titles because Nintendo wants this game to be as much as a surprise, since discoverability and exploration were key aspects of the original Breath of the Wild, and they'll be the same here.
God damn it!